Hey guys, Paulo with Meditation Amsterdam, and I have a bunch of ideas that are coming up here as I drive to my favorite lake in Guatemala, Lake Atitlan, which I highly recommend. And and so this other thought that came to mind the other day, which I might have heard, because I've been listening as usual to a lot of YouTube talks. Especially from guys like Igor, I think his last name is Abusev or something along those lines, and also Shunyamurti, is this idea of graduating from being human, which for most people sounds like a like a horrible thought, but if you bear with me for a second, I can hopefully explain a little bit what that means and how much how important I think it is. So what this thought comes down to is that there are two fundamental ways to see the world, there are three, in fact. One of them is that the world is made of matter, and consciousness kind of arose out of that. Another one is the idealist view of the world, in which everything is consciousness and matter is just contained in it. And then there is the third way, in which matter and consciousness are both fundamental in the world, and they are in this constant dance. That third one seems to me kind of like the more interesting one. But regardless of the of whether you espouse that view or not, I think one view that is probably best off discarded is this idea that everything is just matter, and that consciousness is just a kind of, fluke of matter or something along those lines. Because if you espouse that view, you will inevitably and not even explicitly, but kind of implicitly start to believe that that you are a human being that has a body, and that is made of a body and a mind. Let's put it that way, right? So mind and body are what you are, and that's all there is to it, really. And there's a problem with that, and that is matter is totally inert and unintelligent, if you look at it, right? So the classic example that they give in the Advaita Vedanta lectures and things of that kind is, well, you can know your hand, but your hand can never know you, right? And that's one way of sort of understanding that that matter has no intelligence of its own, because it can't know. Knowing, in this case, being the hallmark of intelligence, right? The ability to know, to apprehend. And so that's with regards to matter. If you are a little bit more sophisticated than that, and you say, well, I'm not a body, but I am a mind, you land in an equally problematic situation, because mind is what matter does when it gets complicated enough, right? It's a series of processes that are running, so that with every sensory impression that you get, there are memory imprints being stored in the mind, and based on those, and based on certain patterns, whether inherited or learned, thinking happens, right? And that's the crux of mind, is that mind is a process that happens. So a good friend of mine and Tai Chi teacher says that the bowels make poop and the brain makes thoughts, and that there's absolutely no difference between those two. It's only that thoughts are a little bit more subtle and more complicated than poop, hopefully. But that's it, right? There's no reason to attribute thoughts any more sense of intelligence than you do to other bodily processes, and that you no more think your thoughts than you grow your own hair, right? It's a mental process that is running, but it also lacks intelligence, because that mental process could run all you want, such as in a computer without a monitor, and nobody would even know that it's happening, right? It's just doing its thing blindly, so to speak. So that real intelligence only comes into the picture once the ability to know arises, and that ability to know, according to Advaita, is fundamental. It is the cosmic self, so to speak, so that that is real intelligence, and that what little intelligence you contain is that drop, or that single photon of cosmic mind that allows you to know. This is all a bit of an explanation to get to the part where we can claim that we fundamentally are neither the body nor the mind. We have a body and we have a mind, but we are the knowing essence, or the conscious awareness that can observe these, and that can know these, and can know itself. And it can only know itself by virtue of these supposedly external things like mind and body, right? They are instruments of knowing, so to speak. But without the essence of the ability to know, they are just blind. So this is important, because if you see the way that we educate ourselves and improve ourselves, and we try to make ourselves the best person that we can be, making ourselves the best person we can be still lives in the realm of body, mind, as in thinking and emotions, right? You want to have a healthy body, you want to have healthy thoughts, and you want to have healthy emotions. And you would think that once you've achieved the healthiest body, mind, and emotions, that your job is done. However, this is only possible, so it's only really possible to do that if you are not identified with any of these things, right? So to the degree that you identify yourself with the thinker, changing your mind or changing your thoughts is almost impossible, because it's very painful. You feel like you're giving up a part of yourself when you have to change something that you think is fundamental to you. So what these philosophies tell us, these Eastern philosophies, is that there comes a point where you want to graduate yourself, you want to graduate from human being, right? A human is a vehicle. Your human is a vehicle, right? You are not human. You have you act through a human, right? And it's a bit of a weird way of seeing it, but it's kind of like the movie Avatar, right? The guy takes on a blue sort of alien-looking creature as his avatar, through which he can know a certain world and interact with the beings in that world, and have senses and whatever. But the knower behind that avatar is not that avatar's mind or body, right? And in fact, that movie is a perfect example, because the guy forgets that he is living in an avatar, because the mind tends to grasp and identify itself with its vehicle. The guy actually falls in love with another alien, right? When it's like, you know, he even forgets that he is human. Or you could say that he has transcended his avatar, so he has realized that he is neither human nor the blue avatar, but he is the knowing presence behind both, right? That's so, in a sense, you could argue either way. But back to the original point of the video, what we're trying to get at is this idea of disidentifying from your body and from your mind, and realizing that you are the knowing presence behind both. And this goes back to the previous video that I made about form versus essence, that I got from the Upanishads. And there's something that I didn't mention in that video, which I think is absolutely spectacular, which is they say that once the interpreter and translator says that once the essence of something has been understood, the form immediately becomes irrelevant. And I thought, wow, you know, that is really something, right? Like I'll repeat that. Once the essence of something has been understood, its form becomes irrelevant, right? Because the form was standing for something, and we are normally hypnotized by the form, and we are hypnotized by our form. We are hypnotized by our body. We are hypnotized by our thoughts and our emotions, and we identify and cling to them, and they are sticky to us, to our I, right? To our consciousness, or to our awareness rather. But when we disidentify with those, listen carefully now. When we disidentify from our body and our mind, and we acquire the ability to observe them in a completely detached way, what it means is that our human form has served its purpose. Why would you continue sticking to form once you found essence? You wouldn't even be able to, as a matter of fact, right? That's why when some of these realized masters speak, they try as they may, they can no longer see the world the way we do, because they have completely disidentified from mind and body, right? Their mind and body has served its purpose. They have graduated from human. It's as simple as that. They're human. Their little apey monkey that does what it does is just a vehicle now, and it takes no more credit. You know, it's given no more credit or guilt for the things that it does well or poorly. It's just a vehicle now, right? And so that's what I mean by graduating from being human. Now, it's difficult, to say the least, right? It's a very sticky vehicle, and consciousness, being so transparent, acquires the colors and the shape of anything that it observes. So it really does believe that it's the body and the mind, but it isn't. And all it takes is a little bit of meta awareness to realize that very quickly. So and you know, you don't need to take this too seriously or in too weird a way. But some of these teachers have in fact shown real anger at some point at students to say, you know, why are you so obsessed with your human? Just snap out of it already, right? Like, you are not it. You know, come to realize that. Don't stop mulling over and obsessing over all the little wants and needs and hang-ups of this little vehicle. The human vehicle is a very poor one in terms of holding spirit, but it is the best we got, and it's certainly the best we got on this planet. They do claim that no other animal is able to realize the self other than human, because we have we are wired with an energetic system that allows for that to take place. So that's it, right? So that's what this clip is about. Try to disidentify yourself from your human. Graduate from human into awareness. That's your real mission in this world, if we believe these scriptures. Is that realization? Is to give way for awareness to shine fully, in spite of the human vehicle, as opposed to being completely obsessed with the human vehicle and trying to pander to it and improve it and the rest. Surely the human vehicle does need to be improved. It needs to be stable enough and good enough to facilitate that realization of awareness, but it's not the be all and end all, and in fact is just the start. So hope you enjoy that, and I'll come back with more videos soon. Cheerio. Bye.